Hey guys, and beautiful good morning from Seoul Incheon Airport. Today I'll be flying all the way to Frankfurt with DJI Air on board their Airbus A330-200 in, well, economy class, as if there would be another choice when flying DJI Air. And actually this is quite a special flight, as this is not the first but the second flight that DJI Air ever operates to Frankfurt, to Germany from Seoul Incheon. So thank you guys for coming along to today's trip report, and let's head right inside the terminal building in order to check in. Cheers! Let's start this video with one of the most important questions. How do I actually get to Seoul Incheon Airport? As always, there are many options. The cheapest, however, is traveling by metro. Currently, this costs between 4,150 and 4,751, depending on which station you board at in Seoul. And it takes you to Terminal 1 or 2 in usually less than an hour. And yes, Seoul Incheon Airport has two terminals, which are not right next to each other, so make sure to check in advance which terminal your airline departs from. For DJI Air, it's Terminal 1, and the check-in for my flight today is located at counters F19 to F36. Fortunately, these counters aren't too busy. However, since I already checked in online and, as usual, am running late, I'm heading directly to the self-backdrop in Concourse G. But there was one problem. The machine informed me 70 minutes before departure that I was too late for the backdrop. According to DJI Air's website, however, it should be possible until 50 minutes before departure. So in the end I had to go to the payment counter where my trolley was manually checked in, which took another 15 minutes. And as if that wouldn't have been enough, security and immigration, as always at Seoul Incheon, were quite busy. Luckily, I managed to make it through just 2 minutes before gate closing and can now quickly head to gate 26. And oh my god, you can certainly spend tons of money at this airport. Just take a look at all these luxury shops to my left and right. Anyway, after just a few minutes of walking, we have finally reached gate 26, but please hear for yourself. Alright guys, I finally made it to today's gate 26. 5 minutes after the gate was supposed to close due to the congested security control. However, boarding is still not completed. There are, I think, like 20-30 passengers still ahead of me waiting to board today's Airbus A330. And speaking about the A330, you do get an amazing view from the gate on the aircraft. So let's take a closer look at it. And of course, I'm also eager to provide you guys some details about today's A330-200. Well, today's Airbus A330-200 was produced in Toulouse and delivered to Korean Air in July 2010. And today, same as back then, it has the registration Hotel Lima 8211. It has been flying for DJI Air since June 2024 with 18 seats in the fairly basic business class and 228 seats in economy class. And now it's definitely time to have my boarding pass scanned by the gate staff and finally head towards the aircraft. And believe it or not, but this is always a really exciting moment for me. But anyway, as you can see, the economy class here has a 242 seating configuration, and here we already are at my seat for today's flight. Alright, after a rather warm welcome of today's cabin crew, I finally settled into today's seat, which is 34H or 34 Hotel in, the third last row, I believe. So in the very back of today's A330. And I got to say, the cabin doesn't look too bad, to be honest, so let's take a quick look around. First of all, it's pretty obvious to me that they simply reused the old Korean Air economy class seats, or am I wrong? Anyway, the legroom is actually quite good, especially for a low-cost carrier, and would be even better without the magazines in the seat pocket in front. The seat also features a switched-off IFE monitor and a decent view of the rear part of the wing. Fortunately, the seat next to me remained empty today, so this should become a fairly comfortable flight. But let's get started with the pushback.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Joseph speaking. Welcome aboard DJI Air. This flight is bound for Frankfurt International Airport. We expect the flight time to Frankfurt, expected 30 hours after departure. Thank you for flying with us today and enjoy your flight. See you later. 감사합니다.
Fastened or seated. When opening the overhead bins, be careful as the contents may fall out. Also, if your electronic devices swells, overheats, or foresees your seat, do not move your seat and please call our cabin crew immediately. We inform you that individual monitor isn't unavailable.
Surprisingly, the onboard service began just 20 minutes after takeoff, and my guess is that the cabin crew has already switched on the ovens during takeoff. DJI Air offers 2 free hot meals on long-haul flights to Europe. I opted for the bibimbap, which admittedly looks pretty good. Still water is also available for free throughout the entire flight, which is a nice touch for a low-cost long-haul flight compared to other airlines like Scoot or Norse. But first, let's toast to this flight. And of course, to you. Cheers! And you won't believe it, but just a few years ago, before I started traveling, I couldn't handle any spicy food at all. Nowadays, I throw chili flakes and gochujang paste on frozen pizza like there is no tomorrow. Need I say more? Anyway, as usual, the turbulence started just as the meal service began, but this amazing view excuses literally anything to me. My bibimbap should be well mixed by now, which isn't easy with just one hand. So let's finally give it a try. And I must say, absolutely delicious. Although it's a bit spicy due to the whole packet of gochujang paste. Good thing the water is free. Since the IFE system, as mentioned earlier, is switched off, the in-flight entertainment on this flight consists of the contents of the seat pocket. First, we have the air sickness bag, which, as it turns out, was needed by a child sitting in front of me later during the flight. And then there is the safety card of today's aircraft. Anything beyond still water and the 2 hot meals can be purchased, as shown in the T-Shop magazine. The prices are in line with other low-cost carriers. However, I noticed that you can pay either 4 euros or 400 yen for a Coke. Given the current exchange rate, the second option is about 35% cheaper. Ugh, I'm such a penny pincher. Well, on the plus side, they offer a nice model of a Boeing 737, but unfortunately the price is way too high. My personal limit for such a model is 15 euros, I think. There is also a duty-free shop catalog and an in-flight magazine created in collaboration with National Geographic, which is really cool. And finally, the seat itself has a working USB outlet and a cup holder. After another 4 hours of flying, which I spent mostly listening to podcasts and editing videos due to the lack of an IFE system, I started to get a bit hungry again. So I bought the tofu udon instant noodle soup with kimchi combo for 700 yen and a can of Coke for 400 yen, as I still had some Japanese coins left over. So, first of all, cheers, as always. The kimchi didn't look particularly appetizing, consisting of only small pieces without any real crunch. I have definitely had better from a package before. Now it's time to add the magic powder to the instant noodle cup. And I gotta say, the udon noodles, which honestly didn't have much to do with real udon noodles, themselves aren't bad. The large piece of tofu looks interesting and tasted surprisingly good. Mainly because it absorbed so much of the broth and was really juicy. At this point, I have to mention again how breathtaking the landscape below looks. If you find my videos just as breathtaking or simply enjoyable, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. It helps me out a lot and ensures you won't miss any new videos. Many thanks in advance. Alright, a little earlier as expected, so about 8 hours into the flight, the cabin crew has kicked off the second onboard meal service, which was honestly a slight disappointment to me, as well I got to choose between either an omelette with a sausage or a beef mushroom congee. However, after ordering the omelette, it turned out that they have already run out of it, so I now have to go with the beef mushroom congee, although I don't like mushrooms. But anyway, of course I will give it a try for you. Yeah, despite the fact that I simply don't like mushrooms. I don't know how you can eat that. It's like, you know, in ramen soups, it's okay, but a part of that, nah, not my thing. But hey, let's give it a try. And soon enough, after more than 12 hours of flying, the flight crew has finally initiated the descent towards Frankfurt am Main Airport.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain speaking. We are expecting to land at Frankfurt International Airport in about 40 minutes.
We had an excellent view during the approach, and it seems like the 07 runways are in use today for both arriving and departing traffic.
Dear DJIers, we are preparing for landing. For safety procedure, in-flight heads are closing now. Open window blinds and move your seat in the upright position. Your tray table and armrest should be closed. Please make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened. All your mobile devices should be in flight mode alone. Dear DJIers, we have landed at Frankfurt am Main International Airport. The local time now is 4:59 p.m. Please remain seated until the seatbelt sign is turned off. When opening the overhead bins, be careful as the contents may fall out. Please remember to take all your belongings. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you again soon. Train to begin, T-Ray.
Unfortunately, it's now time to unbuckle the seatbelt and say goodbye to today's seat 34H and the charming cabin crew who did an outstanding job on this flight.
Thank you guys, bye-bye. Have a nice day over.
And that's already it for today. Thank you as always for watching this video until the very end. Stay safe and cheers.